I think most of my sensibility during a roundabout is just out of like fear and like lack of practice. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how to work this. How do I work this?
Yeah.
Let's stop like in the middle of the road and like, we're like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. Look at my plates. I'm not from around here.
But I'm a very safe
the greatest thing about a roundabout is you can just go around again if you fuck up. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Might make a few circles.
You are about to be informed.
Ew, pressure, ew. I don't like the pressure, darling.
Ain't no pressure, only leisure.
Starter for 10 things we love about Jack, our producer darling. I love his taste in music. I love his taste in Coors Light beer. And I love his taste in partners, darling.
I
love how supportive he is, not just to you, but to the whole of the web that is being weaved.
Yeah. I feel like what you said before recording, he's like stoked to be included.
Mm-hmm.
We love them. Okay. One thing that I love about Jack, our producer, is he is a very patient man.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what I need in my life.
Yeah.
He's a patient man. So much.
Oh.
You go.
Is it my turn?
Yeah. I have a lot.
Well, you can keep going if you'd like.
You go.
Something that I love about Jack, our producer, is his softness and his unassuming genius. He's just like so subtle about it. And then when he strikes, it's like, yeah, bro, I love you.
It's that Genius to Freak channel. His only channel, Genius to Freak. It's delightful to be around. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I love his sense of humor. Like he always, like, if I start singing a dumb song, and this is something that, like, I did not in other places in my life I didn't receive. Like, if I start singing a dumb song or making a little play on words, he will just, like, come to the party.
Yes, and.
Yes, and, yeah. The yes, and, yeah.
Yeah.
Taste in trucks, too, Pi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's funny because I did Art Alchemy. I hosted Art Alchemy today, and Peggy Sue came. And so Nicole and Peggy Sue got to meet, and we're chatting about her at dinner. And Nicole's like, "Is she she's single?" And I was like, "No, she lives with her boyfriend." And I don't know if I said it out loud, but I think I thought it. And I was like, "Who has good taste in trucks?"
I'm trying to get them to come here.
Yeah.
I'm being quite persistent. Yeah. Do you think that will that'll scratch the recognition itch for Jack, or should we?
I feel like you would know best.
Yeah. I think he'll be, it's like, I reckon that will be enough for now, and then in a few months' time we can give him a top up if we need to.
Okay.
Also love his musical abilities and talent making our theme tune.
Cute.
What you doing?
Oh, I'm just carving this here oracle card. I forgot to paint it so that I could see like the contrast when I cut away. So I was just gonna do that. I've been like not. It's funny because I've been putting it off. Like I haven't been in the process of making the deck until like the first day of summer started, and never since then I'm like, oh, I just want to do this, and then now I'm like all of a sudden busy, and I have like, whereas before like I wasn't busy and I had time to like do it, I just wasn't doing it. So it's kind of funny that now I'm like, oh, I just want to carve that card, and like there's been like things like pulling me away from it, which is good. It's good to have things, but today was pretty full. I did breath work with Carly, and then I did art alchemy, and then I had the podcast, and then I made Nicole dinner. I made dinner with Nicole, is what I was trying to say. So yeah, it's just been like kind of going from one thing to the next thing. I also really wanted to go to the coffee shop today and do this, but I knew yesterday that I was like, oh, I want to do this, but I knew like that wasn't going to be a possibility. So just fine. Everything's fine. That's been my catchphrase today.
She's booked and blessed.
Yeah.
This month I got my like final scholarship payment, and I used a large chunk of it to buy a huge amount of wood, and then like firewood, and then last night I stayed up until 11 stacking my wood, and then I finished stacking it this morning. And I was just like really on my stack.
I love that.
Like I was really in a little order-making frenzy.
Yes, yesterday was I could be totally butchering this, but the Kazemi with Cancer, the Sun in Cancer and Jupiter in Cancer. And it was highlighting like the home. And before I knew this, I was like manically rearranging the apartment, and like I was like, I must clean and like change things. And I haven't really, when I got here, like things were pretty like set up and decorated. Nicole had wanted to kind of like do that. But I hadn't really like, I just put my stuff. I didn't really like move anything. I just kind of like added to. And so yesterday I feel like I told her, I was like, I just got rid of all your stuff. Then when we like went deeper in it, I was like, I didn't really get rid of your stuff. I just kind of like shifted things and did like more of an integration of our things. And so like her things are like less prominent. And then when I went over there and we're talking, she's like, oh, it's like a really important day. And I was like, what? She's like, did you see my stories? And I was like, no. And said that's when she told me about the Kazemi. And I guess it's also like a lot of people consider it to be like a very lucky day. So I don't know. I just something in the like, stacking your wood and like preparing your home for like the coming season. And I mean, I wasn't stacking wood, but I feel like in a way I was stacking wood and kind of preparing for my next season as things are like shifting into summer, and my creative tasks are kind of shifting, and I'm spending more time at the table. I moved the table over in front of the window, which is why you could actually see me today. Because I'm like, I don't want to stare at the fucking wall while I'm like sitting here all day, like, like making art. Fire. It's good, but then I like look up and it's like the fucking wall, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. So I shifted it, and now like there's just like trees and like forest in front of me, which is a way better vibe.
Yeah. It reminds me of the song Kerosene. Stare at each other, stare at the wall, stare at each other, wait till we die.
Yeah. Yeah, it very much feels like, you know, like especially when you're just doing, it's like kind of tedious work. And I was there, like the first day that I sat and did it, I pretty much did it like all day. And so it did feel very much like, I can't do this anymore. Our alchemy was a joy, though. It was the first time that I did it. Like, I got my own Zoom account finally. That feels like I put my big girl panties on a little bit.
Yeah.
But then it like gave me the AI. Like, I totally forgot to record it. And I was like, wow, I really wish I would have recorded this when we were like having the post conversation about how like cool and fruitful and, you know, everything we gathered. But then it gave me like the little AI like wrap up thing after, and I was like, oh my god, what is this? But it was totally cool to like read what the AI bot was like. Piper guided through a meditation through the starting at the root chakra and focused on energy and emotions, and I was like, holy fuck, like I did
I did that. Yeah, you did.
Oh, it's like sick. But it's cool though. It gives me I think I've mentioned more than once before is I have trouble like speaking to what happens and like what exactly it is. So it was cool to like read that very like simplified, like this is what happened during class. And I'm like, cool. That's good to know.
There's Google has an AI that you it might be called Notepad or something like that. I can't remember, but you can put in like your work or like your website or, you know, a sample of your work, and then it will generate like a 10-minute podcast conversation with just like two AI voices discussing your work. And it's meant to be, I heard about it from Lindsay Mackerath, who has like a neurodivergence podcast, not podcast, Substack. And it's like meant to be very affirming for people that feel like they're very complex or hard, like they find it hard to articulate what they do. And I did it a while ago, and I was just like, I did not enjoy it. I was like, no, you don't know me. You don't know anything about me. That is not correct. That is not my life. I was mad.
How dare you?
It made me feel worse and more isolated.
Aww.
But it was
That's
okay.
Hilarious.
I recovered.
Yeah, as we do.
Mm-hmm. A couple days ago, I saw, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but like microscopic sand. There's like a TED talk about microscopic views of sand going around. And it's like a little video, and this guy's talking about like if you zoom in, microscopic view of sand, there is so much beauty. There's like little fragments of shells, pieces of the moon, all this different stuff. And it's all these like cool shapes. So I made little clay, which is hilarious to me because clay is like tiny little particles of like mud. So I like made sand particles, and I'm really excited to get them fired and paint them and see what they look like. And that was fun.
That's cool.
It like that and the wood stacking, it makes me think about like the nature of creative urges and how it's so much of a compulsion. It's like, you know, like even what you're saying with the oracle deck that you're making, it's like the compulsion might not be there, and then regardless of what else you have going on in your life, the same thing happened with my hair, where it was just like, I must cut my hair immediately. I cannot wait for a hairdresser. I will like, I just watched one YouTube video and then I watched the tutorial and I was like, okay, I can do it, and then I gave myself a haircut. But it's kind of interesting just really experimenting with like only really doing things if it's compulsive. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. I feel like until now, my mom is a hairdresser, and I very much feel like I took that for granted because I would get the urge and I'm like, cut it all off.
mm-hmm.
And then I had that ability to just like go into the kitchen and be like, can you cut all my hair off? And she'd do it. And now that I'm here, I don't. And so, yeah, I did the same thing when I first got here. I was like, Mom, how'd you say to do that thing to my hair? And just like put it in a ponytail back here and just like, and then I wanted to shave my head too, like higher up. And I didn't have the equipment. I forgot to bring my things with me. So I text Justin and I was like, hey, next time you come, can you? And I just taught him how to cut my hair instead. So now I don't have to, I can still like have the urge, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Wait for the urge and then please cut my hair for me.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Yeah. I had asked, Jack was going to do mine, and then he was at work for the day, and I was like, just did it myself, and I was like, oh, it's probably better that I do it anyway, because then if it gets messed up, then I won't be mad at you.
Yeah. And honestly, like, that's such a thing too. Is that a manifestor thing? Because my mom, it got to the point like where she won't do the blonde in my hair anymore because the reaction of like, you know, when you first do it, sometimes it's like orangey or whatever. And I'm like, it's ruined. And she's like, nope, I don't want to deal with that. Like, you do it yourself. And she just like won't bleach my hair for me anymore. So I have to do it myself.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been thinking as well about what we talked about, must have been like 2 weeks ago now, with, I guess it was in the context of Martha Stewart, but like intensity. Like I've noticed with jujitsu as well, like I'm just much more obsessive and intense about it, like while I'm intense about it. And like that, it's happened with like lots of different things at different times, but it's like just one of those things that you don't, it's like the more that you're able to externalize your own intensity, the less you feel it but the more that it's perceived outwardly.
Yeah. I feel that's why I started doing the art alchemy ritual, is because it was just like this kind of boiling, bubbling, like, I need to spit this out.
Yeah.
I was thinking about art alchemy today when I was listening to this podcast, and they were talking about how how sometimes people make the idea king, like it's the most important thing that you're trying to deliver, but really it's being in the process of just doing.
Yeah.
And the idea in a sense doesn't even really matter. Like we can make a thing. And well, when I was when I was listening to that, I was thinking about my experience in art alchemy, and it was very much that, like, fuck trying to create an idea, just be in the paint and the body and the expression.
Mm-hmm.
And that for me was such a liberating thing because I think you've mentioned this before, where sometimes with the material, it's so like, it's almost like idea. It's such a precious thing that I'm not, unless I'm being prompted to, I'm not going to squeeze the whole thing out onto the board, you know? But then even that thing that seems so small as like squeezing a whole paint bottle out is such a liberating experience. And I think it might have been that moment for me that my body in a way relaxed into just like playing
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
without like an end goal in mind or something, or without needing this to look a certain way.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's a big block, is like, especially when you have like a nice piece of paper or like even a canvas. Today I chose to work on a canvas, and I bought this 3-pack of canvases like, I don't know, last month maybe, and it's just sat there wrapped up in the corner, and I'm like, maybe it's time to, and Nicole was like, yes. And yeah, I feel like, and that's also something she and started interacting with one of her weavings today with the paint and stuff, and like using that as the canvas. And then at the end, she was saying how there's moments of like, you know, when you come up against it, and she's wanted to put paint into that process, but she's been scared of it. And so she was saying there's moments where where she did it, and then she kind of had like a nervous system kind of like relaxation, where it's like, oh, this is okay. Like, it's fine, actually.
Yeah, the butthole is like, oh. Fuck, liberation.
Chill.
That's what that feels like. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny too, because some dude on fucking Instagram threads, where I haven't posted much of my art, but a lot of what is on there is like stuff that's been a product of like my personal like solo art alchemy sessions. And we were having like one of those like cute internet arguments, and he's like, your art sucks, you should really give up on your dreams or something. And I was like, bruh, like, my art's supposed to suck. It's supposed to be bad. It's like not the fucking end goal, it's the process, you nitwit. Like, how can you even explain that to somebody, you know, that just wants to argue on the internet? But yeah, it's totally about the interaction and like, the permissioning, you know. And it's not like I'm not art alchemy when I am creating the deck, but having that practice of the release and the freedom to express helps. When I sit down to design for stuff, it helps just the flow be flow, and not like, oh, what like, you just fucking let it out.
Right.
Instead of being paralyzed.
It's kind of like, it kind of also reminds me of free writing, where you're just like dumping it all and not needing there to be a structure or, you know, grammatically correct. It's just like, bleh.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because that's been a lot of like all my blocks when it comes to like the business stuff that I'm supposed to do is like, and I think about art alchemy, and I'm like, oh, you silly bitch. Like, you need to be applying this to like what you're trying to produce, and like, you know, the posts and like the sales pages. Like, you need to like loosen the butthole, if you will. Like, and then I'm like sitting here like, what's art alchemy about? And then I like giggle at myself, because I'm like, you're not art alchemying the fucking post or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's so cool how, I mean, when that is down in your body, it can translate into, yeah, writing a post for your business and moving through that
Yeah, I've
block.
been thinking a lot about the phrase like how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I feel like the more that I've been sitting with that, it's been like coming through with like everything that I'm doing, you know, whether it's like washing the car or making dinner. And it's like, Nicole always tells me that she's like, you're good at everything. And I kind of fucking hate it. Like, what? Like, what? And then I'm like, well, there's nothing. I mean, not to say that there's nothing holding me back, but like, I think because I do have that as a practice, it's easier for me to just be like, let's just fucking do this and see what happens. You know, it's like also like a little bit of like the fool, the Joker, like fuck around and find out, you know, don't take everything so seriously.
Yeah.
It's also very rulership of you to just be ruling.
Yes.
That is so, I feel like that's so true. There's no real separation between like work and play and all like housekeeping, householding.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, householding doesn't feel like something that necessarily comes naturally to me, or like it might be very slow to like get the chores done or whatever. But it is like the meta relationship is just relationship. Like, how are you in
Yeah.
relationship to your work or your creative process or your house or your relation? Like, how are you in relation to your relationships? But, and I think it's like, I was thinking about it as well yesterday when I was stacking my wood. I was thinking about motivation, and I was motivated to complete this like physical task that took me maybe 4 or 5 hours all up of just like squatting down, picking up wood, walking to the woodshed, stacking it like very autistically, like very meticulously, just wanting it to be like very neat and tidy in there. Um and I was thinking about how one of the least effective lies that a person can tell themselves is lying to themselves about what motivates them, and how we're kind of like in a culture that tells the story that we're most motivated by consistency and like financial security and um regularity, like everything goes like 8-hour days or whatever. And just how much of a brick wall that creates if I pretend that that's like the thing that I care about most. It's just not, like, just giving that. I guess for me it's been happening like specifically in writing and like writing fiction lately, where it's just like giving myself the honesty that like the craft of that is really motivating to me more than maybe like a false motivation that I had carried previously of like, I need to be able to say to someone, this is what I do in like 2 words or less, you know? It's like that, like, and recognition as well. Like, I don't know if you guys have looked into the Pearl sequence of gene keys. Violet probably has. But my Pearl's in like the 2 line, which is, it's about like recognition, but there's so many there's like false forms of recognition and there's true forms of recognition, and like motivation is like Kazemi. Motivation kisses. True recognition, you know.
Mm. Mm.
It reminds me that yesterday, the day before yesterday, Violet told me to eat the chapstick, and it reminds me of that. And if you want to think about, you know, that whole movie, and that's kind of like, it's like, or even Stranger Than Fiction. Have you guys seen Stranger Than Fiction? It's like he's so routined and regimented, and then his wristwatch like freaks out and kind of like resets, and so everything is like off by a little bit now, and that totally throws his whole entire life into like a kind of chaos. But then it, you know, everything, the way everything unfolds after that, you know, his entire life changes, like the trajectory of his life. He like is kind of woken up to, like, he didn't realize even that he was so like regimented, and I guess he also probably enjoyed it that to some point, but you don't realize when you're in it everything you're missing out on when you're just like going through the motions and doing, you know, the same thing day after day. And
Yeah,
it also goes the other way though, because I feel like I used to be very resistant to any kind of schedule, and now I have like some flexibility, some schedule, and I like that. Like there's something like, I think there's a lot of stuff in my human design that kind of tends towards isolation and just like sequestering myself in my cave and not seeing anyone, which is like not that healthy long term. But having some level of like rhythm of marking time with other people is very supportive. But it is that, you know, the danger in the extremes, like extreme regimentation, and also, you know, like even with this podcast, we have a very nice rhythm of every other Thursday we record. So there's like, I guess it's like the difference between rhythm and like regimentation.
Yeah. I feel like that the key to what you were saying there for me is rhythm and fun, and in that you're tuned into your rhythm, which might not sound like mine or Piper's. And it's going to move and play differently at like different moments in time.
Yeah.
But I like that what you were talking about. What was the movie again?
Oh, Stranger Than Fiction.
Stranger Than Fiction. I was gonna say Stranger Things. That I kind of felt like I was getting into that kind of a groove before my ankle injury, but I was like enjoying that groove. And it, for me, kind of always seems when I try to be that regimented, something happens that it pulls me out of the thing, and then I'm having to like reconfigure again and again.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I also have to reassess values and like what the fuck was driving the thing in the first place. And it like it's a constant trial and error because after my
jazz, baby.
yeah, totally.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced that as well, especially when it's come to some sort of physical routine where it's been and it's
like
been
exercise.
Yeah, like more so when I was probably going too hard, like before, it was like years ago before I knew that I had rest cycles and probably wasn't honoring my rest cycle. And I'd be like, damn, like I got into, I've been doing it for like X amount of days or, it's been like a month or whatever. And then like I'd get hurt or like something would happen. And so then it'd just like throw me out of, which actually I've even been tracking here with like my movement. It's like a lot more scaled back. Like it's just yoga or like hiking. But when we're talking about the rest cycles, especially, I've noticed after that like when I get pulled out of it, it's usually the week before my bleed. And then my bleed happens. And then, so I'm like, quiet, like I don't do much those 2 weeks. And then I want to kind of like fall back into the like, oh, like I fell off and blah, blah, blah. But like, then it's like, if you could just pick it back up, bro. Like you don't have to and make a big deal. And
like you build it into, like I've been doing that where I build it into my conscious like conceptualization of my training regime. Like if you do weightlifting, you have a deload week. So like you can apply that to any other sport or activity where it's like, oh, the week before my period is my deload week. So I just like take it easy. So, and then it's like, yeah, it's very relevant to what I was saying about motivation, because I've been better at eating my breakfast lately. And I just say that if I eat breakfast, I'm going to be better at jujitsu. And that's like genuinely motivating for me because I want, it's a skill that I'm developing that I want to develop as like with as much, dedication as I can muster. But it's like, I could go into a little like about like, oh, I'm not motivated to eat breakfast because I know that it's healthy for me. I'm only motivated because it's going to make me better at something that I'm trying to get better at. Like that's just true for me right now, and it might change. But I just think that having honesty about what's motivating is a bit of a boon.
Yeah.
I feel like I was born with the motivation to eat breakfast.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking about what your digestion is in your human design. Do you know?
It's light.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And like even my mom would tell me, like my brother would go out and be like watching cartoons like the whole morning. But like I would wake up and go to her room and like get her out of bed and be like, I want breakfast. Like, give me my breakfast.
Yeah.
And I always tell Violet that breakfast, how like the spiritual girlies have like their morning routine and like, I got to do my sacred practice before anything else. Like eating breakfast is my fucking morning ritual.
Yeah.
Like very much.
But even the way, because I've been with you during a breakfast time on many occasions, and like the way that you make your breakfast is a whole ass ceremony, like there's a whole, and it's just like the best, most simple breakfast, and the coffee tastes so good because it's like that is your routine.
Yeah.
Your morning routine, but it's done in such an intentional way without you even needing to put intention into it, you know?
Well, it's like very pure
because you're just making your breakfast.
And it's it's natural as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Justin always tells me I need wifey breakfast when we're not together. Like, so that makes a lot of sense. And it's like it's very
different.
Yeah, intentional, and like I got to put on the music and set the vibe.
And when you do when you make poached egg, when it's like a poached egg day, it's even more like magical because it's like the perfect poached egg.
I was also thinking about like when I make breakfast too, how like there's so many components that I've learned from other people, and like the people that I carry with me through making breakfast, like the egg thing I learned from my mom, and the way I make bacon is a lot of it's influenced by my old roommate Adrian, and the way I make potatoes is influenced by my dad, and like the way he would prepare the potatoes, and even like if I don't do the poached egg, then I do scrambled egg, and like then I'll like add beans, and like that was also like something my dad was always doing. So there's very much
the Carrie tradition.
Yeah,
it's like when I go every time I go too fast about a roundabout, I think of Jack's dad because he taught me to drive and told me not to punch it round the roundabout. He's always with every roundabout. He's with me, going like, "You can't fucking punch it round the roundabout." Like, yes, I can. Ha! Yes, I can.
I always like do, and then I'm like, oh my god, like bro, like chill.
Yeah. But sometimes I hear it and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be sensible.
Yeah. I think most of my sensibility during a roundabout is just out of like fear and like lack of practice. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how to work this. How do I work this?
Yeah.
Let's stop like in the middle of the road and like, we're like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. Look at my plates. I'm not from around here.
But I'm a very safe
the greatest thing about a roundabout is you can just go around again if you fuck around. Like,
that's true.
I might make a few circles.
For the record, I'm a very safe and sensible driver because I'm thinking about, I kind of want to get like a little morning job where I like drive around and do deliveries. So, and then write my literary stuff in the afternoon. So, manifesting that.
Cute.
Very safe, very sensible. Yeah, a pie breakfast is really a treat. And like we even integrate. We employ some of your techniques in the homeland, in the home country. And it's like it's like, you know, food is the ultimate tradition in a way because it is so, there's like techniques and flavors, and I guess like smell specifically is the sense that is most strongly linked to memory as well. So maybe that's part of why like food can be so nostalgic. And smell is such a big part of it.
And it's such a language that transcends, like translates through time, through all of it.
I feel like it's very good it can be very good at like grounding, particularly when you have jet lag. Like if you're far away from home and you kind of like haven't had a good sleep and you're feeling a little like you don't exist below your knees or below your waist, you can like have some nice bread and it'll just like grow your legs back.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really experienced a whole lot of jet lag, but I feel like generally, like when I do eat, especially if I haven't eaten like properly, like a meal, like food always kind of brings me back down in that way. I'm like, oh, I feel, like, and I'm like, oh, I probably should eat.
Yeah.
And then I eat, and I'm like, oh yeah, cool. Just needed some fucking protein, bro.
And cooking
Always
as well.
usually mostly the case. Did you have some protein? You're freaking out. Did you have some protein?
Yeah. Yeah, yesterday I didn't eat lunch. I went to the coffee shop and had an Americano and a coffee cake. And I came back and I was like, Nicole, I need to wash our cars. And then I was like yelling at her. I was like, you're not doing it right. And she just like she threw a fucking towel at me, a wet rag. And then she just like disappeared. And I thought she just gave up on it. And then she came back out and she was like, you're still out here working? And I was like, you're going to clean the car. You got to clean it right, man.
I respect the car cleaning game. And I don't play it myself, but
yeah.
I live with someone who's pretty into cleaning cars, so.
Cleaning your own car, I feel like is also like one of those sacred ritual things. And
magical.
I mean, I think like I guess it's cool to like not have to, but I don't know. Every time after I clean my car, I'm just like, yeah. Look at you shine, Rosita.
Yeah.
And it's like so simple of a task and you feel so much pride. And then, you get to ride around in your clean whip and like after I washed
one of the best.
Yeah. After I washed Nicole's van yesterday, I was like looking at and I was like walking into the house and so I like walked past it and she was in the laundry room like, whose sweet ride's out there? She was like, that's mine. And then one of the kids is like, what's that? What's a sweet ride?
Sweet ride.
Like, that's a clean car, my friend.
Yeah, I do check my car out a lot after I wash it. I'm always like, ooh, look at you, girl.
Yeah. Hey, girl.
Let's go.
Hey. Where are we going tonight?
True story. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. It was the first car wash, though, that I did. Well, it was the first car wash that I did not in the desert, which was interesting. And it was also the first car wash I did without a beer, which was also interesting. Yeah. I'm like, this is...
Wait, and you washed 2 cars?
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Well, she was like, because she washed it with the kids and they, like the kids don't know how to wash a car. So it was just like, you could see like streaks still like on the bottom. And I'm just like, we can't have this, Nicole. Like, so she's like, okay, like and she was going to wash hers while I washed mine. But then like the whole situation, she's like, well, I should turn it around so I could get the back. And I was like, why don't you just wait till I'm done? And then I'll pull in the garage and then you pull yours forward. And she's like, oh, okay. And then I ended up just washing the whole car because she's like, and she's like, the front doesn't need washed. And I'm like, what do you mean the front doesn't need washed? Like, if we're going to wash the fucking car, we're going to wash the fucking car. Wash the front of the car. What are you talking about?
You take a shower, you don't wash the front of your body? No.
Right? I mean, like, sometimes I don't wash my hair, I guess, but it just felt like, bruh, like, why are we even fucking out here if you're not going to wash the whole car?
Finn? In